Welcome to Going the Extra Mile, a podcast brought to you by Newleaf Training and Development. Each edition is sure to lift your spirit and encourage you in today's working world. Enjoy!
I write this on the eve of Veterans Day, the official United States public holiday, observed annually on November the 11th, honoring military veterans, that is, persons who served in the United States Armed Forces. It coincides with the other holidays, such as Remembrance Day in the United Kingdom, which is my country of birth. Around this time, perhaps more so than ever, we hear people say words like, "Thank you for your service." And they may say this to a surviving veteran, or they may post a similar comment on social media to honor a deceased family member or friend who'd possibly served in the military. The only sacrifice I can think of that's even higher than serving in the military is to give one's life in the act of doing so, which is, of course, why we honor Memorial Day. It seems so trivial to connect military service with the workplace, but the phrase, "Thank you for your service," resonated with me more than ever over these past few days, especially as we head into Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks' time. My observation has been that very few employees are truly thankful for what they've received. See, most employees don't appreciate what they have. It's often said that employers will pay just enough so that people won't leave, and that employees will do just enough to not get fired. I'm not sure I agree with that analogy, as I've seen many people be overpaid, in my opinion, for what they actually produce. Likewise, I've seen many people go the extra mile and still not be paid what they're worth. If you're an employee, have you ever stopped to consider that an entrepreneur or a collection of entrepreneurs actually started the business or the organization you now work in? It's not hard to align with this fact if you work for a startup, as you probably work alongside that person or persons. Even when I was an employee for the large global publicly traded corporation Hilton Hotels, it was not hard to cast my mind back a few decades and think about Conrad Hilton, the founder of the company and the great-grandfather of the wonderful Paris Hilton. As a side note, I did actually meet Paris Hilton once at what used to be the headquarters in Beverly Hills. And true story, she said to me, quote, "You sound like Hugh Grant," end quote. And I was mightily pleased with that comment, as Hugh is from a very posh part of London, whereas I'm from a ragamuffin middle England. I was about to express my gratitude, but she butted in and said, "Yeah, but you're not as good looking." Charming. I've since refused to accept her friend request on Facebook. Now, even if you work for a government or quasi-government entity, maybe even if you work for a church, in a very real sense, it was entrepreneurs who had the gall to apply for that school to be built, for that cityhood to be granted, or church to be founded. My point being is that we have so much to be grateful for as employees. A person or persons gave their time and talents to help create a place of work you now earn your treasure from. So the definition of an entrepreneur clearly amplifies the risk such people took. They could have lost it all as an entrepreneur, as defined as a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. I'd encourage employees to reflect during this heightened season of gratitude between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving the sacrifices made by those who came before them to create the jobs they now have. See, according to the US Small Business Administration Office of Advocacy report of 2025, nearly 48%, or nearly half of employees, work for small businesses in the United States. Remember, even those massive businesses were once small. Even Walmart, which employs 2.3 million people, started by one entrepreneur, Samuel Walton, just 56 years ago in 1970. I can only imagine the horrors of war, and I'm immensely grateful for the men and women who gave their time and some of them their lives to be of service to their country. It's often said there's no greater love than to give one's life for a friend. And I think you can only exceed that by giving a life to someone that you don't even know. So as we pause to give thanks, I hope that all employers will also take a moment and reflect on all that we have to be grateful for. America may not be perfect. I still believe it's the greatest country in the world. California certainly has its challenges, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And even awesome town, which is where I live, Santa Clarita, Valencia, it's not always awesome, but they always say the measure of a great country, a great state, and a great city is when more people want in than want out. Again, let's just pause and think about how much you and I have to be grateful for.
I hope you found that short story useful, and if you did, feel free to rate, review, and share this podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we also invite you to check out our other weekly podcast, Take 5, an inspiring interview with a leader worth listening to. Bye for now.